crazy for the past 2 weeks thinking about it. And while reading his truly hilarious and unbelievable autobiography, I gained some insight to the man and to what I hope is a suitable introduction. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's a solemn acute of honor, the incomparable Mr. Pat Cooper. Thank you. Al, I will never work with you again. I've got to tell you, you know, there's an expression, it's over. And I believe that. So I want to say good night now. You know, it's, I don't know why I wrote the book. I said, what am I going to say to people that they're interested in what I got to say? And then I read other books. And no disrespect to other books. I read one book, the guy was 30 years old, and he didn't live. Another guy was 40, 45, and again, no disrespect, didn't say nothing. So then my friend Steve Garrin says, you got to write those stories, you got to put the things in the book. And I says, I don't want to. And you go in the studio, you do 46 hours, and him and Hirschlock, they get together and they put the thing in a flow. Because the secret of a book, I believe, is in the flow. If you don't have the right rhythm, you shouldn't write a book. So, why are you here? I can only tell you, some of the things that I've done, it's, people think you're off the wall. Because I learned a long time ago, when you tell the truth, you lose friends. I lost my mother and father because I told the truth. My father said, did you take that 5 cents from the pocket? You tell the truth and nobody will bother you. I said, yes! So next time I took a dime. So it's difficult. Some of the things that I've done in my business, people say you blew your career. You're talking about people that are icons and people that are big stars. Fine. But I'm a human being, and if you take my dignity away, we're going to have a problem, because there's no reason to take my dignity away, because I don't take nobody's dignity away. Because I learned a long time ago. I made mistakes by abusing somebody's dignity. And I says, I can't do that no more. And I'll give you a very fast story. I was 14 years old, and we had a widow in the neighborhood. We called her Adumana Teresa. And I'm 14, and she would make me go shopping with her and give me a quarter. In those days, a quarter, wow. But the nickel was a Subway. Newspapers was 2 cents, a quarter was, movies was like 9, 11 cents. And I would go back to her apartment with her. And you know, I'm a kid, 14. I want to get that quarter and get the hell out of there. And she says to me, do you have a girlfriend? And I says, no, senora. I don't have a boyfriend either. I was just and she says, you have to have a girlfriend to have experience to make love. And I'm 14 years old. I'm looking to ride my bicycle, she's looking to grab me in bed. So, I didn't know what to say, and she starts to talk to me in broken English. She says, oh, one day you're going to get married. I said, yes. And you're going to make love to your wife. And I said, I'm 14 years old. She says, and when you finish making love, you're going to say, ah. Ah, Maronna mi, wow. Then then time goes by. And you're becoming 60, 65, and 68. And you can't do that no more. So what do? You thank God that you can pee. Because when you finish your pee, you go, ah. So last night I went 3 times, ah. And she meant something to me by saying the things we take for granted. We never heard of prostate. We never heard of cholesterol. You gotta get a heart, you get your arteries. There's only one artery you want to get hard. Prostate every 5 minutes. Did you check the prostate? Did you check the prostate? Will you check the prostate? I said to the wife, did you check the prostate? She said, it's in the garage. We don't touch it. So we never had that. We didn't care about that. What do the Italians care about where I was raised? Macaroni! We never would say pasta. My father said the pastas are for the queers. So we eat the macaroni. What is macaroni between macaroni? What's the difference between macaroni and pasta? And my father says, your culture. Huh? He says, we don't eat a macaroni pasta from a box. And I said, geez, and he's right. I'm going to go down to Tony's and tell me one number 8 CDs. And tell him to break it. Well, what I trusted you to do that. You went to Tony, my mother said, number 8 in that drawer. That drawer's out with the pasta coming out, the macaroni coming out. And it was an art. To hear that, it was an art. You were carrying, trusting what your mother sent you, the macaroni. And that's what I am, I'm macaroni. I'm not pasta. I see my family. We lived in a cold water flat. And if you wanted the bedroom on the same floor, you paid $1 more. My father says, we don't need it. I said, my father, how am I going to pay? Out the window. So, it sounds strange, stupid, but that's what I did. Because that's what the neighborhood, we were oil paintings, ladies and gentlemen. Not only Italians, the Jews and the African Americans, we were oil paintings in that era. There's no longer that era. We were honored to see the soldiers during the Second World War, and we saw block parties after the war was over. I lived through that, and I said, geez, my God, we took it for granted. And then I started to have my friends here kind of read about things with the people they work with, tell them about how a tough time you had, mistakes you made. I made mistakes. And you got to put the mistakes in the book. And you got to tell people what kind of a miserable bastard you are. And I say that not to impress you, because it's good and you don't forget that. And by being a miserable bastard, you learn to be a better man. But it cost me. I lost my children and I lost my grandchildren. I'll never see them because they thought I became successful because I wanted to hurt their feelings. Because in an Italian family, you worked 5 days a week. You got paid on Friday. Saturday you went shopping. Sunday was macaroni. And Monday you went back to work again. That was the system. And me, of all the family, in the family tree where my father was born in Bali, they discovered there was no roots. Nothing to see that. Was there a singer in the family, a comic in the family? So when I started to do what I was doing, they thought there was something wrong with me. Because you stepped out of the box. So I turned around, I told my parents, and I told my wife, I can't live like this, because if I live like this, I'm going to die. The truth, because there was such a thing inside of me that I loved show business. During the summer months, I'd get on my hands and knees and do Al Jolson on the corner. I would do James Cagney. I went to confession, and all the priests were Italians. And they would go, and I went, Joe, you're right. Your mother, what do you think you were, father? You're the mother, your father. And he told my father hit me. But I thought it was great. Okay? My father had no sense of humor, but my father did things that I thought, geez, he could have won an ad-libber. An Italian from Bari, an ad-libber, sitting at the table, and my mother yelled at him. Hey, Mike, that's my father never yelled, never raised his voice. Went over to the drawer, took out the marriage license. He says, Aloysia, let me ask you a question. Is this the license that I say, Mike Capuro married to Aloysia Gaggiolo? She says, yes. Then how come I'm taking your shit and ain't on it? I sat there, I says, holy, what's an ad-lib? I wish I could have said that. But that was serious, see, you can't say that. My father could have said, because that's his wife. You know, you say that today, and it's an epic. It's a disgrace. So what happens, I look at it now, and I came up semi-normal for the regular Italian kids in my neighborhood. I was in school, and I was a good student, but I was thinking I wanted to see Harry James and Tommy Dorsey's orchestra, and to see the movies that I wanted to see. And we had a Jewish teacher told my father, leave him alone, he's electric, this guy. He's wonderful. He goes out there and he says, he's wonderful. My father goes, he's electric, how come I'm paying the bills? And I thought there was something wrong with me. I says, and that's teaching, I don't know if she's still on the planet. She said to my father, what is wrong with you? Now here's the difference. If I was Jewish, because when I grew up, all the best comics were Jewish. And if a Jewish kid said at the table something funny, another Milton world! I said something funny, hey, they come out. Not because they meant to be said, they don't get it. They don't get it. So you pay the piper. But you know something, I'm not sorry what I've done, because I know if I don't do it, I'd have been miserable, but it cost me, but that's okay. We all have problems. I mean, every day you pick up a paper, there's a Ponzi scheme, and somebody's robbing. And I read about Madoff. They should have made him president. This guy knows how to raise money. I mean, am I stupid? Get him out of jail. Make him be a president. Stay out of the money situation. Because people were begging to give him the money. And I'm not making fun of those who lost the money. Of course not. It's not funny. But in my brain, I'm saying, these are geniuses. What the hell are they doing in jail? When a schmuck like me who's got no education, making a nice living. But that's America. Only in America. And Pasquale Caputo, who changed his name, my father was older when I changed my name. And he said, well, the Francis Sinatra changed the name. I said, Tony Bennett changed his name. Dean Martin changed it. I was a wise ass. Big amount. You have all of the answers. And I'm an only son. I got 3 sisters. Did you see the movie The Witches of Eastwood? So, my mother, all her life wanted to own her own house. And my father says, I don't want a business, I don't want a nothing, I want to work 5 days a week, I want to get it paid, and then that's it. And she didn't pay attention. So behind his back, she was saving money. She bought a cold water flat in Brooklyn, and she made a profit there, and she bought a brownstone in Park Slope, Brooklyn. And this is very sad, but it's interesting. He come home one night, he said to my mother, please forgive my language, but I got to tell you this. He said, I see that you bought your own house. Now, my father, when he talked, always shook his head. That's why we never served him soup. So he would go, I see, Louisa, that you bought your own house. And she don't say nothing. He goes, let me tell you something. I hope you're happy. You go to your house. Now, next time you want to screw your house. And he left and never came back. True story. Moved into the Hotel St. George and lived there for 37 years. So, I'm saying, Jesus, are we all disruptible, you know? Then when my father died, I was already back, Cooper doing okay. And my older sister said, Daddy died and you can't have none of his money. I said, well, I didn't want him when he was alive. Why would I want him now? And I says, you know, sister, there's no will. 10 years from now, I can come and bust your chops, but I have no reason to do that because that was, even if I was broke, I wouldn't take anything off my parents because they never gave it me. My mother died, well, she passed, left $1.4 million. $1.4 million. No education, got what she wanted, lost a son and a husband. So I said, we all pay the piper. But I started to let that go. And people said, well, you know, you're a very angry man. I said, I'm not angry. I don't know how to express myself. I'm $45,000 in hearing aids. I bring this up because education sucks. I found out people of education, doctors and lawyers, don't have common sense. So I went today to the specialist. And I says, this is another thing you saw me. I said, he says, well, let's give it another test. Then he turns around, he puts me in a book. Can you hear this? Can you hear that? I says, no, I can't. Yes, I can. He says, we have another hearing aid for $6,000. I said, I can't hear you. I'm telling the doctor and the girl who works for the hearing aids, I'm honest. I'm going deaf. Stop busting my chops. Well, now you see, you look. I'm going to be 82. It's time for me to die. Let me die in peace. You want me now to buy more hearing aids? What am I going to hear? In a goddamn coffin? Look at me. You're educated. You're a genius. You look in the nose and the ass and the body and everything. You don't have common sense. I don't want another goddamn hearing aid. I want to go deaf. I'm going to buy a dog that hears. So when the phone rings, I'm like, and I know the whole line. At least the dog will cost me a couple $100. I feed him macaroni, pays his gas and dies. How dare you say, how dare me? I'm an educated doctor, I'm a lawyer. I said, well, I have common sense. Why do I care about what's right? Man, you got a big mouth. I'm working with Frank Sinatra at the Sands Hotel. What an honor to work with an icon with the Count Basie Band. April in Paris, I had to follow that. La 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 la, what a great song, and the orchestration. And I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm working with Frank Sinatra at the Sands and with Count Basie. And I'm sweating and I'm nervous. And I walk out, and for the first 5 minutes, nothing. Every star is there. Wait for Frank. Hey, Frank, I gotta get Frank. What's Frank on, Frank? And Phil Harris. He says, all right, kid, finish it and bring on the man. So I said, what's the matter, Phil? You can't get a girl? And his girl was Alice Faye. And I'm sweating and I'm sweating. I go back and Julie says, man, I spoke to Frank and he says, take out that thing about the saints. And I says, what is he telling me take out? That's my laugh. So I went to the dressing room. Yeah, Pat Cooper. Yeah, kid. And I walk in, Julie's behind me. I said, Frank, no disrespect, could you tell Julie that I got to take out the thing about the saints? And he's looking at me like, why is he saying this to me? I'm Frank Sinatra. Who is this guy standing up to me? And I didn't think I was standing up. I said, wait a minute, Frank, do I tell you what songs to sing? said, go to a butcher shop. You tell them how to cut meat. You take my balls away, Frank. If it's up tight, I'll go home. I will go home. And he don't know what to say. He's looking at Julie, and Julie's looking at me. And I walked out. I says, Julie, I'll go home. I don't give a damn. This is terrible. This one, he says, you got a big one. You got to say that to Frank. Oh, I see. In other words, I have no dignity. I said, I'm married. I got a lovely lady that I care about. And I got to let her know that I give my dignity. I said, we did it for the Pope. I'm sorry. It's wrong. That's how I put it. Well, whatever. I'll talk to Frank. No, don't talk to this tiny thing. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. I'll talk to Nick. Nick will say yourself. I'll tell you to marry. I said, forget it already. I finished the 56 shows. And a couple of the guys, the wise guys that Frank knew, they told him in front of him, Frank, not this guy. He's not going to take that because you shouldn't do that. I says, geez, I got a little bit of a name, and but you're working with Frank. I said, I lost my mother, my father, I lost my kids. I'm not going to see my grandkids. That's my common sense. I said, why am I listening to this man telling me to take away my material? That's like telling John Barrymore you can't act no more because I don't like your hair. I said, that's wrong. And my friend Steve Garrin and Richie said, Pat, you got to put these stories in the book. Because nobody has the nerve to say the truth, what you say. I said, I don't care who it is. If I can stand up to my parents, why can't I stand up to Frank Sinatra? I said, why? I mean, I respect him, one of the greatest singers of all time. And I said, but how can I work comfortable when he's... What is his business interfering with my business? 56 shows. 3 days later, I went downtown to the Fremont, which they said, you would Frankie to go downtown to the Fremont to work with a great singer called Joe Williams. I worked with Joe Williams, I got $5,000. I worked with Sinatra every week, I got $1,000. I says, from now on, I'm working with Joe Williams. Now do you think I'm stupid? You know, you got to take care of yourself. But it's amazing. Every time they want to hear a story about Frank Sinatra, and I only worked with him once, they ask me, because they know I'll tell the truth, what I saw, what I seen. We did a benefit, and Frank Sinatra says, Pat, bring me on first, because I'm working across the street at the Caesars. I said, okay. He's going to do 3 songs. Peggy Lee's dead, the stepbrothers are dead, a couple of that. I said, okay. And he goes out, I saw he's there with Frank Sinatra, and he starts the 4th song. And I run out and I stop him. I said, Frank, how many times I told you? 3 songs. Now, you want to work with me again, or you want to start a riot? And he laughed, and we became friends after that. 4 years later, we're roasting Tommy Lasorda in California. And I'm looking at him, I'm sitting at the desk, and the tap on my shoulder. Frank Sinatra, he goes, hi, Frank. He said, can I do the 4th song? I mean, these are such wonderful stories. And then you work with pain in the asses. Pain in the ass that send their emissary backstage to tell you what he or she said. I said, well, why didn't they tell me? He said, well, you know, Steve, I need to say, do 15, 20 minutes, that's it. I said, no. They're not going to tell me what to do. Are they paying me? Well, are they paying me? Well, I'm going a half hour. Because that's what the club wanted. I do 30 minutes. Now I want to do 15. I said, then talk to the boss. You're not going to work with me no more. I'm going on. People say, geez, you're blowing your career. I said, no, I raised my price. Because controversy, for some dumb reason, breeds money. You see it every day in the paper. Nobody asks me who I'm going to bed with. Nobody says, you're getting it on any chicks. Any chicks. I mean, I'd rather be 40 and look old. And you tell the truth. People say, you're in great shape. How do you keep in great shape? I said, I rehearse dying. And people say, well, you're a wise ass. No, that's common sense. At 82, I get a woman. I got about 6 months ago. She said, I'd like to go to bed with you. I said, if I go to bed with you, I'm sleepy. She goes, aren't I appealing? Bananas are appealing. And then I found out I insulted the girl. I said, because it's dead. You understand? She goes, what's wrong with the elbow? It ain't the elbow. It's a dude. Now that I'm single for the last 5-6 years, I lost my lovely lady. Now that you can go get it on and swing, there's no swing no more. And I remember what that Italian woman told me. When you leave, you're going to cry from emotion. And I learned something. There's more value in other things. Howard Stern. He's mad at me because I tell him the truth. And when I said, it's about time, Howard, you stop playing my mother and my son and my daughter. Every time you want to get, you're playing that same record, give it a break. It's 20 years already. He says, I own that. I says, Howard, why don't you play the tape when you insulted your wife that she lost a baby? And I heard, I said, who do you think you are? I said, that you've insulted people all your life. I said, what is wrong with you? Can't you do me a favor? It's enough already. Every time you leave it, the same thing. He said, I'll play it as long as I want. I said, okay, well, forget me. Because you're not a nice man. It's enough. But you do it. You won't do your tape. That's fine. Because my mother went on tape and my daughter. And my mother said, I owe her $5,000. I said, well, this is under Howard Stern. The funny part is, Howard said, your family's on the phone. Do you want to talk to them? I says, yes, put them on the phone. I never ran away from what I had to say or from what they had to say. But they're angry because they became successful. I said, geez, I'm not going to feel sorry. My mother says, well, you owe me. I says, and my daughter said, you deserted us. I says, how could I desert you? When I lived across the street after I broke up with my family. I left my family, ladies and gentlemen. I left them intentionally. My wife threw my clothes out and didn't realize it. She's not a bad person. She listened to the wrong people. She didn't get a chance to talk. And I'm not to defend myself, but I try to explain it's between you and I, we and the kids. I'm making money now. I'm making $15,000, $20,000 a week. Are you nuts? And the judge awarded her $135. My oath to God. Because I showed the judge my contracts and everything. And she looked and she said, well, and she didn't mean it. She says, what is he paying you off? And you see how silent it is now. I mean, I said, Jesus. And he said, young lady, this is my courtroom. You don't dictate policy. And I tried to explain to shut up. Okay, now I want to go to family court. And that started. And then before you know it, I supported him about 21 years old. And I put that in a book. And I put my feelings in the book. And I know when you read the book, whether you like it or not, you're going to hear my voice. You're going to say, geez, I hear him coming out of the pages. Because I never deviate when I'm on stage. I'm a different guy. I'm here. I'm a street guy. I talk street talk. You know. I'm not bright. I'm not intelligent. I'm okay. I'm okay. I come in here tonight and look around and I say, I wish my wife was here to see such wonderful things like this. When they roasted me at the Fry's, it was such a wonderful thing. I said, Jesus. And I'm not a big star. I'm not a Rodney Dangerfield or Billy Crystal, two wonderful, talented men. I never got to that height. But I made a good living and I was happy. I said, geez, I'm doing what I like. What the hell is it? I moved to Las Vegas. I bought a beautiful house there. And I adopted a daughter. And to hear my family, my first family say, she's not your real kid. That's okay, she's my fake kid. And I said, there's not, because I know they're angry and I'm trying to bite my lip. But you know something, by them doing that to me, maybe a better man because I control my temper. And I said, let me back away because it's 50 years, they still bust on my chops. My son wrote a book, Dear Penn Cooper. And I read the book and I'm saying, okay, I respect him. He's got his right to say what he wants to say. But I try to explain, that's 50, 55 years ago. Where are you going? What is your problem? It's over. But you know something, it's sad when they don't get a life. It's really sad when they don't get a life. But that's okay. That's okay. As I said earlier, I made it 2 years old. And if I make 83, it's a bonus. If I make 84, it's a bigger bonus. If you don't hear from me anymore, I die. But I say this because I'm going to tell you, this is such a nice thing that I remember. It's a nice thing. I go home tonight to call my daughter in Vegas to say, hey, Dad, I mean, she like deserves such a nice thing like that. And my daughter says, Dad, you wrote a book and you let these people know? Well, no, you didn't spill your heart. You just said, this is me. I yell because I don't know how to talk even, and I don't know. When I had sex with my wife, we never yelled. I remember going, that was it. Because today, if you don't have the numbers, you can't have sex. When I tell you 5, 17, or 18. It's numbers. And that's why I pick up the paper every day and I'm wondering who's going out with who and who's going out with who. I'm going out with nobody. I did such a wonderful thing, I'm having my kitchen done. And you're all invited when it's finished. That's what I'm doing. And when I finish here, I'm going to remember this night, and I thank you. You've been very kind to me, and I don't take this for granted. I want to tell you one thing. You're going to like this book, because I told it the way it is, and there's some great stories tonight. Thank you.